Scion was supposed to save Toyota from being called boring, and it worked for a while. Then Scion disappeared. So what went wrong? Hello and welcome everyone to the Curbside Corner, where I obsess about cars so you don't have to. And today we're talking about whatever happened to the car brand of Scion. But before we get started in this video, if you could please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. It would mean the absolute world to me. Now, to start this video, we have to break Scion down into three parts: the rise, the fall, and finally the end of Scion. So let's get started with the rise of Scion. Back in the early 2000s, Toyota had a bit of an image problem. Sure, they built some of the most reliable cars on the road. The Camry, the Corolla, the RAV4 were everywhere, but they weren't exactly exciting. Young buyers didn't see Toyota as cool or fun. They saw it as their parents' brand. So Toyota decided to do something bold, something that would shake off the boring but dependable reputation. Enter Scion, launched in 2003 as Toyota's experimental youth brand. The idea was simple: build affordable, stylish, and customizable cars for young drivers, especially first-time buyers. They didn't want to flash luxury or bland practicality, they wanted something different. Scion's debut lineup was exactly that. Cars like the XA, XB looked unlike anything else on the road, especially the boxy first-gen XB. It was weird, practical, and surprisingly fun to drive. Here's a fun fact: Toyota actually developed these cars in Japan as quirky urban roundabouts, but when they hit the US, they became instant cult favorites. The XB's toaster-like shape and big interior made it perfect for car meets, music gear, or weekend surf trips. And the way Scion marketed itself was completely different too. No traditional TV ads with smiling families. Scion leaned hard into underground marketing. They threw music events, partnered with streetwear brands, and even online car configurators that let you customize every detail way before that became the normal. And it was about creating a scene and not just selling a car. Then came the Scion TC. Scion sporty coupe that hit dealerships in 2004. It gave young enthusiasts an affordable, stylish, and mod-friendly car, something between the Civic Si and the Celica. For a while, it worked. Scion became the brand for young drivers who wanted something different without breaking the bank. By 2006, Scion's strategy was paying off. They sold over 170,000 cars that year. That's not bad for what was basically a Toyota experiment. The brand had a clear identity. It was fresh, affordable, and a little rebellious, exactly what Toyota wanted to prove. The fall. But like all good trends, Scion's hype didn't last forever. After the mid-2000s peak, the brand started to lose its spark. The same formula that made Scion cool at first, boxy, affordable, youth-focused, started to feel stale as the car market and young buyers started to change fast. And the second generation XB was a perfect example of that. The first one was light, funky, and had the unmistakable "I'm different" charm. The redesign in 2007 made it bigger, heavier, and more mainstream. And in doing so, it lost the very thing that made it stand out. The XD, meant to replace the XA, also failed to make an impression. It was fine, but fine doesn't move metal in a segment that thrives on personality. Meanwhile, the TC kept selling, but it wasn't evolving. And by the early 2010s, it was still using the same basic platform engine, while competitors like the Civic Si, the Hyundai Genesis Coupe were stepping up their game. Scion tried to inject some excitement with special edition and color packages, but those felt more like stickers in a fading story. The young buyers Scion was chasing were changing. Millennials weren't buying cars at the same rate as Gen X did. Ride-sharing, urban living, and skyrocketing car insurance costs were killing the entry-level car market. The people Scion was built for either couldn't afford a new car or didn't want one. Even when Scion tried to reinvent itself with the global Toyota products like the IA, a rebadged Mazda 2, and an IM, basically a Corolla hatchback, it felt less like innovation and more like like recycling. And the FRS, which I think is a fantastic car. The FRS was one of the bright spots, bringing real-world driving fun back into the lineup. But even that wasn't enough to turn things around. And I would love to pass the question off to you. What are your thoughts about the Scion FRS? Is it something that you actually liked? Do you think it really helped Scion keep afloat, or do you think it was just something that was mostly Toyota with just the Scion badging? By 2015, Scion's annual sales had dropped below 60,000 units, down from nearly triple that at its peak. The youth brand had aged, and so did its audience. The end of Scion. By 2016, the writing was on the wall. Scion just wasn't connecting anymore. Not with buyers, not with the culture, and honestly, not even with Toyota's own lineup anymore. The brand that started as a bold experiment in youth marketing had quietly faded into the background. So, Toyota made the call. Scion was done. After 13 years, they officially shut their doors. But instead of scraping everything, Toyota decided to absorb what worked. The FRS became the Toyota 86, the IA turned into the Yaris IA, and the IM was reborn into the Corolla hatchback. And in a way, Scion didn't die. It just got folded back into the Toyota family. And while the brand itself disappeared, its influence lived on. Scion proved that there was room for fun, quirky, affordable cars that spoke to enthusiasts and first-time buyers alike. It helps Toyota understand how to reach younger audiences, not just through advertisement, but through the community. Looking back, Scion's story feels kind of poetic. It burned bright, made its mark, and faded out before it got stale. It gave us icons like the first generation XP, the Scion TC, and the Scion FRS. Cars that still show up at meets, still get modified, and still remind us of that era when being a little weird was cool. Scion wasn't a failure. It was a moment, one that proved that cool can't be manufactured, it has to be earned. And for a while there, Toyota's brand really was the coolest thing on the block. And in summary, honestly, I think that Scion made a fantastic mark in history, and that you can make affordable, fun cars that a lot of first-time buyers will purchase and enjoy. But I would love to pass the question off to you. What are your thoughts about Scion? What are your thoughts about the rise, the fall, and eventually the end of Scion? I would love to hear your thoughts down below. But as always, my name is Eric. Thank you so much for pulling up to the curb, and let's keep talking cars.